Hello guys, and welcome to part 3 of the building a MERN Job Board application tutorial. And in this part we are going to be looking at how to connect our remote MongoDB to our local development environment. So in part 2 we cloned our we cloned the repository we had forked from Code Capsules to our local development environment. And in part 3, we are going to be looking at how to connect our local application to the remote MongoDB that's hosted on Code Capsules. So we'll get straight into it. So the first step will be to make sure that the MongoDB has public access turned on for it to allow requests to be sent from a local environment. So let's go ahead and confirm that. So this is the space where I had deployed my application in part 1. If you haven't watched part 1 and part 2, please go ahead and do so first. And this is the data capsule. So I'll just turn public access on here. And as you can see, it generates a connection string for me. So this is the connection string that we'll use to connect to our database from a local environment. Let's go back to the tutorial, reference this MongoDB. So for more information on why we have to turn this on, you can reference this MongoDB reference guide, and it will tell you more about how to connect about how to set the public access on to about how to set the public access to on. But what we have done already here is enough for the purposes of this tutorial. And on top of that connection string, we'll need to append this string to the end of it so that we can read and write to the DB successfully. So how we're going to do that is we're going to create an environment file in the root folder of our application, and then we will set the database URL environment variable locally in this environment file, which will be the same as the database URL environment variable in our backend capsule on production in Code Capsules. So let's go ahead and create this environment file in the root folder of the project. So this is the project here, and I'll just go ahead and create a .environment file here. Okay, so we'll add this environment variable for the database URL. And take note that this connection string is the one used when this tutorial was written, so you'll need to replace this connection string with your own. So this is the connection string. You have to copy your own connection string as well. Don't just copy this. Okay, now paste your connection string here. Okay, and now let's append this string to the end of it. All right, so that's done. So now we'll need to run this npm install command in order to install the .environment package that we need in order to use our database URL environment variable locally. So let's just go ahead and do that. I'll open a terminal here in my VS Code. Alright, and run npm install.environment here. Okay, so as it's installing, we'll see what the next step is. So we'll need to open the index.js file in the root folder and insert this line here so that our app knows that we are using environment variables provided by the .environment package. Okay, so it has finished installing the .environment package, and let's go here in index and we're going to paste the okay, let's paste it here. So by doing this, we've now configured, we are telling our application to use the .environment package for the environment variables. Click save, and that's it, guys. So after actioning these steps, our local application that's running on our local environment will now have access to the remote MongoDB that's hosted on Code Capsules. So stay tuned for part 4 as we look to extend the front end of our application so that it looks like an actual job board, not simple boilerplate main stack application. Till part 4, see you.